His esophagus completely removed and replaced with a foot of his colon. Emmett underwent 65 surgical procedures, all because of one
intestine
battery.
What do you mean his
And
intestine?
mother Carla joins us, and Carla, the one thing that you said that I really hope you don't anymore is you said that you blame yourself because it's not a mother's fault
Whoa.
when a child swallows a tiny little button battery. You don't blame yourself anymore, do you?
You know, I think I'm coming to a point where I'm, realize that this is an accident and things happen and it could happen to anyone.
And the reason this is so scary is these batteries can be so corrosive. You obviously only have one esophagus. And just to give everyone an idea of what Emmett went through at Cincinnati Children's Esophageal Center, this is a 3D animation they provided us with. In this procedure, this colonic interposition, literally they took part of Emmett's colon and put it where his esophagus used to be. And essentially, you're sewing that colon in place where the esophagus should be, since his esophagus was no longer functional. And then, of course, you take the colon, you sew it back together, and hope that both of those areas of repair take. And the colon is as good of tissue as Emmett had to replicate the role of the esophagus. Obviously, for the rest of his life, he has to eat a little bit differently.
Yeah, he still depends on a gastric tube in his abdomen to get most of his nutrition. After a couple months, we were able to start feeding therapy, which he didn't eat by mouth for 2.5 years. It was surreal, but also so exciting. We videotaped that, for the first time.
And that should continue to improve over time.
And here we're talking about the esophagus and the stomach and the trachea and damage there, but we have to remember that children of that age put foreign objects in all orifices, the nose, the ear, the vagina. This is well known.
Yeah.
It's just that this is a disastrous place.
And anyone watching at home, if you take nothing else away from today's show, this is a medical emergency. If you have any suspicion whatsoever that your child has swallowed a button battery, we can see it on x-ray in the emergency department. We have B-roll of what happens in a hot dog. Yeah. This is after 3 hours, so every minute counts. While this corrosive battery is in your child's esophagus or anywhere else, within 3 hours, and Carla, you know this so well, took this hot dog and literally started burning it.
Yeah.
You see that time lapse, folks. Imagine this in your child's esophagus. So if you have any worries or suspicion, just go. That x-ray is very quick, can be life-saving. We're so very blessed because obviously Emmett's been through so much. And I don't know about you, but I'm ready to meet Emmett. And please welcome Carla's husband, Michael, and her little boy, Emmett, to the show.
All right. So glad to be on TV.
How are you, young man? Good to see you.
You gonna be shy?
There you go. Welcome. Thank you.
I know Emmett's being shy, but I know this was so close to his vocal cords. And how has that been progressing, his speech? And
Yeah, what's amazing is when, I guess you have nerves to your vocal cords that run alongside your esophagus.
Yes, they do.
And when he swallowed the battery, it burnt those nerves, which paralyzed his vocal cords shut. So, he had a major surgery back at Cincinnati Children's in August where they actually took a graft from his rib cage and opened the vocal cords. And so now he's able to breathe on his own without a tracheostomy tube. Which he had for 3 years. This is years sooner than we were expected. Originally, we were told he'd have it into his teens. And so the surgery went so beautifully and so well that we just couldn't be happier with his progress.
Hey, Emmett, have you ever been to Disneyland? Did you like it? Do you want to go back? Because we'd love to send you there. You've been through so much. You want to go to Disneyland?
I think you should go to Disneyland.
And incidentally, one of the other things that we're trying to raise awareness, and we credit you, Carla. I know that you even have a meeting set up with John McCain's office.
Yes, I do. That was our goal, was to talk to Senate and try to get some legislation to make items that contain button batteries a little safer. And one of your producers here helped me get in contact with one of McCain's office. So thank you very much.
If you want to learn more about Emmett's site, and of course, Carla's mission to educate families about button battery safety. Check out thedoctorstv.com for more information. Thank you all so much for coming, and best of luck going forward. We'll be right back.
Coming up next, a troubling skin condition brings one woman to the doctors looking for answers.
Might
And
be
later,
able to take a
are you
bath
gonna get
in
all of your
a couple of
options
drops
before
of
choosing surgery?
marijuana oil
1 and 5 are unnecessary.
and cure that
That's
condition.
later. Coming tomorrow. Women selling positive pregnancy tests to scam men. Then, in need of an extreme face makeover.
Positive?
Now see
Oh, no.
amazing transformation.
Alicia, come on out.
That's tomorrow.
From the farm families of Fairlife, this is our promise. We promise to do better with every delicious sip of our ultra-filtered milk.